Well, here we go again, folks. We are right back in it. It is hurricane season. And you guys, for those of you who don't know, I live on the coast in South Carolina, pretty close to the ocean, actually. So this is something that we have to deal with every year. It's just one of the costs of living in South Carolina, coastal South Carolina, actually. Although we saw last year with Hurricane Helene that you didn't have to necessarily be on the coast. In fact, Hurricane Helene hit closer to Appalachia, you know, like that area over there, western South Carolina and Appalachia and North Carolina and that area over there. Asheville, they got hit much worse, but that's kind of atypical. Usually the coast gets it worse. And here we are, it's the beginning of June as I'm filming this, and we already got our first little warning of a possible tropical depression. Yay! It's going to be an awesome hurricane season. They're saying the ocean currents and ocean temperatures, like everything's indicating that it's going to be another whopper, which is not good news for people like me who live here close to the ocean. So it is time to start thinking about your hurricane preps again. Now this being the very beginning of hurricane season, we're not going to go hardcore on this, but it is time to start thinking about some of these things. And there are a few things you can do at the start of hurricane season to get ready. So number one, and I actually have an appointment to go get my car checked out and tuned up, your vehicle, right? So if you live in an area like me that's very prone to flooding, it's time to think about like getting your vehicle checked out, right? Or you don't want to be, if there's an evacuation, you don't want to be dealing with that at the last second. It would be a nightmare trying to get a mechanic to try to fix your car at the last second if you have to evacuate. So you want to kind of stay ahead of that. It really pays to have good transportation if you live in an area that's prone to this. Number two, this time of year, I start looking at things like my smoke detectors, my fire extinguishers. These are just good general preps anyways. But with hurricanes and we're still in the middle of tornado season, although that's not big for us here, thankfully. But those of you who are in tornado season, you usually get a lot of lightning with tornadoes too. So that lightning creates the possibility of fires, and downed power lines create the possibility of fires, and surges, when you have like the power come back on or off and on real quick, can create the possibility of fire. So you want to make sure your smoke detectors are real good and your fire extinguishers are good to go. All right. Number three, you really want to be looking at, you know, all of your chargeable like power banks, power stations, battery banks, things like that. Anything that runs off of that, like I've got rechargeable batteries. It's a good idea to start topping them off now. You know, we've got battery powered fans. We've got a big solar power station. I've got a fleet of flashlights, some of which are like rechargeable. Go ahead and start charging that stuff up now, right? Like keep it topped off. It doesn't hurt to periodically top that stuff off, and now is as good time as any. Number four, check your pantry, right? Like what's the dates on your dry goods and your canned goods and things like that, stuff that's shelf stable, your food that's shelf stable. I can tell you right now that when we get close to a hurricane, you don't want to be that person that's trying to do their shopping right before the hurricane. It's a nightmare, and people are in the stores are actually kind of agitated. You know, there has been conflicts, fights, things like that over things that you don't need to be fighting over, right? Like, so if you're getting ahead of this now, little by little building up your shelf stable food in your prepper pantry, you don't have to be that person fighting over that last can of chicken noodle soup or can of peaches or Spam. If you are already ahead of this game, you're already, you know, you're sitting back and you're, you know, just kind of popping your one or your cold one or whatever it is that you do to relax when everybody else is trying to get to the store 3 hours before that hurricane makes landfall. Don't be that person. You don't want to be that person if you can help it, right? Now, I know we talked recently about the financial situation. I get it. Everybody's struggling. I understand. So do the best you can. If you can only get 2 extra cans this week, get 2 extra cans. Just do the best you can. All right. And what else? The last one here, I want you to start thinking about building up a little bit of emergency cash. Again, this goes back to what we were just saying, that like I know there's a lot of people out there that are struggling. paycheck to paycheck. Totally understand. Do the best you can. If you can only put $5 back this week, do $5. But you want to have a supply of emergency cash in small bills and change, because the reason being is when the power goes out, and trust me, because I've seen this in hurricane-prone areas, some stores will open up, and because they want to get rid of their inventory too, even when there's a power outage, so you won't be able to use your debit cards and your credit cards. They'll be taking cash only. And the way this works is just plan on you're going to need to round up. Don't be fighting the cashier over that 23 cents, because they might not have that 23 cents to give you back. Be grateful that they were able to open their store and sell you a few things. So you want, and also here's the other thing is if you can afford to have a healthy amount of cash, emergency cash stored back, if you need help on your property, fixing a repair on the roof or something like that, there will be contractors that are quicker to respond to those who can give them cash. Just the way it is. All right. So those are 5 tips there you can start to think about for getting yourself ready for hurricane season. We are in the very beginning of this. Obviously, we're going to do more videos as we go, and there's a lot more to it when you start getting close to a hurricane. If you know that the weather's predicting it and it's imminent, there's a lot more preps that you have to do. But these are some things you can do now to start to be ready. Okay, so we all, as preppers, what's our goal is we always want to be ahead of the curve a little bit. We don't want to be that person fighting for that last can of peaches or Spam in the grocery store. You get what I'm saying? All right, folks, I really appreciate you. So you all have a great weekend. Enjoy yourself. Make sure you're doing lots of fun stuff with your family, but also try to get some of your prep squared away this weekend. Keep planting your seeds, keep stacking your silver. This is Prepping with Sarge. Hey squad, thanks so much for watching today's video. Today's video is actually sponsored by AppMex. AppMex is my choice for online gold and silver when I'm looking to add to my stack. I do believe that with all the financial insecurity in the world, financial prepping is part of prepping. And gold and silver, having gold and silver in a physical form is one of the ways that you can not only hedge against inflation, but store some of your wealth even when currencies hit a crisis. And if nothing happens, if we never reach any kind of an SHTF situation, then gold and silver can be passed on to your children and grandchildren. Please check out AppMex on the internet at www.appmex.com. Tell them Prepping with Sarge sent you.